Well, good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Brown Women's Basketball here on the Ivy League Digital Network. Mike Mancuso joined by Adam Giardino for the championship game of the inaugural Ocean State Tip-Off Tournament, which pits all four Division I teams in the state of Rhode Island against each other in true tournament style. Yesterday, the Bears able to outlast the Rhode Island Rams, Providence knocking off Bryant to both earn a trip to this championship game here today. The Friars coming into this one undefeated on the year, 7-0, putting their perfect record on the line against the Bears, or now 4-3, riding a two-game win streak after wins over Binghamton and the University of Rhode Island. And Adam, yesterday was a tough one down the stretch for the Bears. They jumped out to a 22-point lead early in the second half, but they let Rhode Island get back into it down the stretch. Were able to finish them off in the end, but certainly a little bit closer for comfort than Coach Bain would have liked. Right,
you get the victory, but still, the Bears slipped into a stretch where they allowed another team to chip away and get back close. And URI in that second half, they outscored the Bears in the third quarter. They outscored them in the fourth quarter. So that was the second half that the Bears didn't win. And though they took a 9-point lead into the second quarter and then built on that in the second quarter into halftime, Brown still, they went a half of basketball and were outplayed pretty convincingly by the Rams yesterday. So, we've had a couple games this year where the Bears have lost. They're 4-3. A couple of the home losses this year you look at and think, man, just a play or two differently and things could have gone for a victory for the Bears. Well, here's an example yesterday of a game where the Bears won and still some clear-cut things that they needed to work on and improve on if they want to try and contend with the 7-0, the unblemished PC Friars.
Yeah, and on the other side of the court, the Friars under new leadership with head coach Jim Crowley, who came over after being a three-time Atlantic 10 Coach of the Year at St. Bonaventure, has really turned things around. They had only 5 total wins last year, already with 7 this year, and without a loss. And certainly looked sharp for parts of yesterday's game. Wasn't their cleanest win, but they did hold on for the 11-point victory over the Bryant Bulldogs, as Allegra Bategi flirting with a double-double, 13 points, 9 rebounds for her, as 4 Friars in double figures. Very balanced scoring with this Providence team, something that's going to be, I think, a little bit of a challenge for the Bears defensively.
Yeah, in Providence yesterday, even in the win over Bryant, and we touched on this on the consolation game where Bryant, if they had made some free throws yesterday, they would have really been able to make a run at the Friars in yesterday's game, with the Bulldogs missing 11 free throws in what was ultimately an 11-point loss. But for PC yesterday, the shooting wasn't there. They shot 37% from the field, only 4 of 14 beyond the arc, 66% at the line. And heading into the weekend, Providence was first in the country in free throw shooting, not the conference, the country, first in the country in free throw shooting, 5th in three-point percentage, and 6th in field goal percentage. So those are your 3 metrics, and PC top 6 in the country in field goal, free throw, three-point shooting.
Certainly some tough numbers to deal with for the Bears. So we take a look at the starting lineups. We just saw the Friars announced here. No surprises for them. These 5 players have started every game so far this season. Sarah Beal, their senior leader, leads them in points as well, alongside Allegra Botegi, Yo-Yo Nogic, Aaliyah Miller, and Clara Che. They are your starting 5 for the Friars, coached by Jim Crowley in his first season. For the Bears, same lineup we saw yesterday taking the floor for head coach Sarah Bain. Megan Riley, the lone junior, gets the start at the point. Taylor Will, the team leader in points per game as of yesterday. Mary Butler, Shayna Mehta, the rookie of the year in the league, and Erica Steves, who scored a career-high 22 points in yesterday's win over Rhode Island, getting her 8th straight start of the season. Part of that very strong sophomore class of the Bears. 4 of those sophomores in the starting lineup today.
Right, and it's a young team. No matter what rotation you're putting them out there, you're going to have youth, you're going to have inexperience, and here we are getting deeper into the season, so that inexperience becomes less and less of an excuse as the teams grind and meddle their way through these kind of close games. And yesterday, again, another test, one where they seemed like they had a comfortable lead early in the second half, and URI stuck it to them down the stretch and forced the Bears to play some solid fourth quarter basketball in order to come out with the win.
So the Friars in their road black jerseys, white numerals, they'll be going right to left across your screen. The Bears once again in their home whites as the hosts of the tournament here in Providence, brown numerals. They will be advancing left to right across your screen this afternoon. Again, there is a trophy on the line here. Championship game, Ocean State tip-off. Opening tip goes to the Friars. Here's Yo-Yo Nogic, who found herself in some foul trouble early on yesterday. Straight to the rack and in. Early 2-0 lead for the Friars. There's the other way. You know they're going to want to push the tempo in this one, as they do in every game. Find Taylor Will, leaving it for Riley across for Meta. Meta, who had a difficult time shooting the ball yesterday, still wound up with a double-double. Here's Will for three, and Adam, we don't see it too often. Taylor Will, a made three-pointer, just her fourth of the season.
Yeah, and you know, that's where she's been so good offensively, an improvement from last year to this year. You see the outside shooting and think, okay, you can improve everywhere else. That's fine that you're still not shooting well from the outside. Well, she comes out of the gates and she nails one in the first minute.
And then Providence with their first turnover of the day. Allegra Botegi getting called for the travel. So the Bears enjoying the early 1-point lead as Riley advances it over for Meta. Meta working against Beal. Swings it back out for Riley. Had Butler flashing towards her, now across Will and Meta in the corner. Nice crisp passing here out of the Bears early on. Butler, strong move to the hoop. Leaves it up with the left hand, and Mary Butler showing some offensive prowess.
Yeah, that's a feathery touch with the left hand. She dribbled strong, hard with the right, faked up with the right, drew the defender over just a half step, and came back over her opposite shoulder and finished.
Aaliyah Miller, happy feet. She tried to work around Erica Steves, who had herself in fantastic position underneath the rim to defend. Another turnover on the Friars. And that's been one of the Friars' strong suits. They only average 14 turnovers per contest, but already with 2 in the first minute and a half. Inside, the Bears look for Butler. The turnaround and in. Botegi in her face, and Mary Butler looking as confident as we've seen her look all season long on the offensive end.
A couple of possessions, back-to-back buckets, and this is a really good start for the Bears.
Bears, who had a fantastic start, an excellent first half, one of their best yesterday against against Rhode Island. After the miss, Beal out of bounds, going for the rebound, goes right back to the Bears.
Will had inside position, and Beal tried to go up over the top of her. Cleanly did so over the back, but couldn't tap it to herself, lost it out of bounds.
Riley gets it off to Will now, who's matched up against Yo-Yo Nogic. Erica Steves works her way inside, off the glass, no good. Miller out-muscle Steves that time for the rebound, nearly has her pocket picked before getting it up to Nogic. Nogic towards the hoop, off the glass and in. Silky smooth that time for the sophomore out of Portugal. Bears now work it with Meta. Steves across for Will. Will driving the lane, up, won't go. No gets the rebound. Beal now. A little drop pass for Nogic. Crossover on Riley and able to can that one as well. Yo-Yo Nogic feeling it, has all 6 Providence points. And she was quiet yesterday for most of the first half after getting saddled with 2 early fouls, but has come to play here today. Will nearly travels, leaves it short. Botegi the rebound. And here comes Che and the Friars. Botegi now. Slow things down. Miller, the long-range Che. Too strong, no one there to rebound for Providence. Easy rebound for Steves and company. Here's Meta for 3. Got it! Shayna Meta delivers from downtown, and the Bears lead by 4.
And I was thinking 3.5 minutes in, Meta doesn't really have a touch yet where she's looking at the hoop and she delivers a 3-pointer. In transition, it wasn't exactly a set 3 set play, but she got the look and she got it to go.
It's a big one, though, considering how much trouble she had shooting yesterday. Botegi has to leave it back outside for Nogic, who has all of Providence's points. Nogic again, that one won't go, and Butler. Providence really struggling rebounding right now. Just 3 so far, but a lot of easy, uncontested rebounds for the Bears. Meta trying to dribble past Beal. Miller showed for the double team. Here's Butler from the outside, no good. And Che fighting with Beal for the rebound. It's transition going the other way for Providence. Che wheels it back around, using the screen from Miller through the lane, lost the handle. And lost it out of bounds, did Che. Providence a little bit sloppy here in the early going. Bears will make a couple of changes with Steves checking out, as does Riley. Abby O'Keefe and Kathleen Ryan enter the game for the first time today. O'Keefe in to run the point. Maddie Jolin is also checked in for the Friars. Oh, what a crossover. Meta off the glass and in. Oh, Shayna Meta.
Couldn't do it any better than that for Shayna Meta.
Oh, man.
Broke down the defender and still finished with some English off the glass.
Meta getting jiggy with it here in the first quarter. 5 points now for the Super Soft and another rebound. Meta leads the charge. Right down the lane, drawing some contact, no call, gets it back up and will not get the friendly roll that time. Coach Crowley heated with his team. Doesn't like what he's seeing at all. He's going to call timeout. Timeout on the floor as well. Bears have the Friars doubled up. We'll be back with more right here on the Ivy League Digital Network. And welcome back to the Pizzatola Center, about midway through the first quarter of the championship game. Ocean State tip-off. The Bears coming out swinging here against the undefeated Providence College Friars. The Bears up on Providence 12-6 here early on.
6 points off turnovers, that's the difference. 6-0 advantage in that category.
Miller feed on the inside, and Ryan's going to get called for the hold that time as Miller trying to do some damage on the inside.
Well, at least you're going to commit that foul. You get it on the floor before the shot ever goes up. So for Ryan, you don't like to commit fouls, but not a bad one. Providence will have to inbound under their own hoop.
Here's Sarah Beal now working outside on the perimeter, leaving it for Che. Now Miller. Miller driving towards the hoop again, up and in. Was just able to use her speed advantage on Ryan to get to the hoop. Meta, another crossover to get around Beal. Has an open O'Keefe. That one will not drop, and Nogic there for the uncontested board. Nogic, the handoff for Beal. And now again they feed Miller. They feel like they have the advantage there. Miller looking on the inside for Beal, outside Che. Now Jolin, three-point specialist, and that shows you why. Now over 50% on the year from beyond the arc. Here's O'Keefe trying to answer, and she does. Foot on the line. It'll be 2 for the freshman.
Well, that's a vote of confidence. Freshman coming down. And again, just like Shayna Meta a couple possessions ago, got a turnover here for the Friars. You had Meta take a three where there were no rebounders really established. O'Keefe took a shot where there was nobody under the hoop, so you've got to have a lot of confidence to do that. You're getting an earful back on the bench if that shot doesn't go in, and there are 5 Friars under the hoop to get the board.
Exactly. So after the travel on Jolin, Bears on the attack again with Taylor Will, and a travel on that end of the floor as well. So back-to-back travels on each team. Providence will have it. Down by 3 with about 3.5 left in the first quarter. Clara Che working against O'Keefe this time. Trying to get it to Beal, a lot of contact, but play on, says the official, and then a little bit of contact and a foul on Taylor Will as Beal made her way to the hoop. Non-shooting, they're going to say.
A couple of substitutions. Megan Riley, Erica Steves check in. Taylor Will had a tough 90 seconds there, and Mary Butler go to the bench.
So fresh 30 seconds now for the Friars. Clara Che able to pop it over for Miller. Miller, a little spin move in the lane, no good, too strong. Steves advancing it up the floor. Now leaves it for O'Keefe and Meta. Back up top for Steves, over for Ryan. Perimeter ball movement here out of the Bears. O'Keefe, same spot she just shot from, and that one does not rattle in. Maybe looked a little bit rushed that time, did O'Keefe. Beal through the lane, left-handed scoop, no good. Steves the rebound, pushing it up the floor now. Here's Meta. Has Ryan on the outside, drives baseline, left it a little short. Bodies flying and banging around. Beal leaves it for Che. Had it poked away from behind by Riley. It'll stay with Providence.
Well, Riley came out aggressively on a closeout, and the pump fake brought her past. But she had just long enough arms and fingers to poke from behind and get that one. Otherwise, Providence had an easy layup coming back in from the left wing.
So Will checks back in. Meta gets a rest here with 2:37 left in the first quarter. Providence finally gets it back in. Here's Nogic. Considerable advantage in terms of height, guarded by O'Keefe. Nogic, foot on the line, but pure. Nogic continues her hot start with 8 points now. 1 point contest with Steves. On the inside, Will. Tough shot off the glass, just couldn't get it to drop. Providence now an opportunity to take the lead. Che, the deep three. Too strong though, rattles out. Nobody was really on her either. Here's O'Keefe. Must have the green light or something today. She has been firing away at will.
Yeah, she's just been shooting it up.
But just 1 of 4 now is the freshman. Cross now, Beal into the corner for Nogic. Picked up again by O'Keefe. 95 seconds left. On the inside and one. Maddie Jolyn giving Providence its first lead of the day. She now has 5 and a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. Quick subs for the Bears now as well.
Yep, Meta comes in, Mary Butler checks in, and O'Keefe and Ryan both take a seat, presumably for the final 94 seconds of this first quarter.
Jolyn on the season, 75% from the line, 15 of 20. Nothing but net on that one, and Providence with the 2-point lead with 90 seconds left in this opening quarter. Meta. Steves and Will inside for Butler where they had some early success. Not caught picking up her dribble. Will fires up the three, and that one not even close that time for the Bears. Easy rebound for Beal. Beal with the push-off offensive. And we saw her strength on display yesterday. Beal, one of the stronger players you'll see. That time got the arm extended out.
Yeah, and Will wasn't in the best position, and it's important to note that, but even the fact that Will wasn't in the best position, nobody for Providence could argue. The bench even remained quiet as Will kind of took it off to her side, but still went crashing hard to the floor.
Butler now with a minute to go. The handoff for Meta outside. Riley pumps up the three, well short. And Jolyn tracks down the rebound for the Friars. Nydeja Jackson works it up the floor now for Providence. Over for Jolyn. Nogic for three. Yes. Hits it from downtown, and the Friars up by 5 now. Will down the lane, up and just off the side of the rim. Will head to the line, shooting 2.
Will goes to the line trying to help cool off this 13-2 run ever since that timeout. It was a 12-6 lead for the Bears, and they've gone cold. Providence has found its rhythm. A couple of free throws by Will at the end of this first quarter could certainly help that.
First free throws of the day for the Bears. First one just off the mark. Will at 77% on the season heading into today's game. Second one up and off the mark as well. And if the Bears are going to want to knock off the undefeated Friars, they're going to have to do all the little things, and that includes making your free throws. So far, a rough start for the Bears in that department, 0 for 2. About a 2-second differential shot clock and game clock here for the Friars. Will most likely try to work most of that clock. Nogic, the dish. Jolyn for 3. Oh, dagger. Big time shot. Steves trying to get it in for Riley, and she's going to run out of time. Friars with a strong end to the first quarter. Lead this one by 8. Time for us to step aside. We'll be back with the second quarter right here on the Ivy League Digital Network. And welcome back to the Pizzatola Center championship game of the inaugural Ocean State tip-off. Bears got off to a fine start. We're up 12-6. Since then, Providence rolling. They lead this one by 8. And the Bears, maybe their shot selection a little bit off in the last couple of minutes there. Hoping to find their groove once again offensively.
And in that respect, the end of the first quarter couldn't have come at a better time to get them centered and back on the right game plan for Sarah Bain.
Here's Butler now. Leaving it outside for Riley. Fake the deep three. Steps towards the lane, off the glass and in. Tough shot, but well executed by Megan Riley.
Yeah, a tweener hanging in the lane and was able to get it off the glass.
Botegi the miss on the inside. She's gotten off to a tough start today. 0 for 3 now from the field after a near double-double yesterday. Will leaving it for Meta. Meta trying to wiggle past Che. Now Steves. Skip pass. Will. Jump shot and in. Jolynn wasn't able to extend that arm up defensively, and Will makes her pay. 4 quick points for the Bears. Botegi lost the handle. Leaves it for Che. Che now trying to force it inside. Ball loose, and
got a traveling call on Botegi on the inside. She had the ball, dropped it, chased after it, travel.
so another turnover for the Friars. That is their 6th of the game. Bears with just 1 turnover, doing a nice job taking care of the ball. Meta crossing over, pull back 3, no good. And Jolynn that time able to grab the rebound for Providence. Yo-Yo Nogic, Jolynn for 3. She's been on fire. That time she misses. Steves the rebound, the quick push ahead for Butler, and a lot of contact as Nogic set up underneath Butler, but play on, say the officials.
Yeah, you've got to give the player space to land, and that certainly didn't happen there.
No, not at all. But Bears wind up unable to finish on the offensive end, and Providence now so far held scoreless in this second quarter, but maintaining a 4-point advantage. And there's some contact looked to be initiated by Che. Lowered the shoulder into Meta, but they're going to get Meta for the foul. That is her first personal.
Taylor Will steps out. Abby O'Keefe back in. A tough shooting first quarter for O'Keefe, 1 for 4, including a miss from beyond the arc. She'll try and get herself back on track.
Nogic inside from Miller, and an offensive foul. That time the dip shoulder. Riley absorbing the contact in the lane.
That's a wonderful
Well
job
sold by Riley.
Yeah.
It was one of those bang-bang plays. Could go either way.
It was one of those almost same idea where Riley almost didn't give Miller any space to turn around or make a move once she had caught the ball, sliding underneath her in a way, even though she never left her feet.
And I think that was the difference that time. Here's Steves for 3, no good. Jackson the rebound. She'll work it up the center of the floor. Turns it right over, though, into Steves. And Steves rejected by Jolynn. Mary Butler, though, able to save it for the Bears. Steves. Now Meta. Working across the floor. Bears seem to be a little bit out of sync here in terms of their spacing.
You got a kick ball, and actually that was almost a dangerous kick ball as Clara Che chased after it. The official who was giving the kick signal almost kicked her as she went sliding for the basketball.
That would not have been a highlight for the official.
No.
So, shot clock at 15 here for the Bears. Meta trying to get it in play. Going to have to hurry. Finally gets it to O'Keefe. Here's Butler on the outside. Steves trying to post up on Miller. Now O'Keefe once again finds Steves. Outside Riley. Butler down to 3 on the shot clock. Meta, 3. Got it! As the shot clock expires.
It took 29 seconds, but when it was all said and done, you had Shayna Meta set up for an uncontested, wide-open 3, and she buries it.
Again, Meta, one of her tougher days shooting the ball yesterday, finding a groove today, and Jackson gets caught underneath. Another travel on the Friars. Turnovers continuing to pile up. That's number 9 for a Providence team that only gives it up 14 times a game.
The first quarter ended on a 16-2 run for the Friars. This second quarter has opened up on a 7-0 run for the Bears.
And now Providence with Beal back in the game after giving her a rest to start the second quarter. Butler and Meta play catch at the top. Meta now driving the lane. Nobody there, and couldn't get it to go. Adam in such disbelief, his headset fell off. And another travel on the Friars. 10 turnovers now here And we're not even 4 minutes into the second quarter.
Well, Shayna Mehta doesn't get herself that wide open right at the rim as she did on that previous possession. She's knocked down a three-pointer. She's been shooting so well. She gets a wide open look right at the on the left hand and couldn't finish.
Mehta, tough shot. That one won't go. Left a little short as it was partially altered by Clara Che. Inside it goes from Miller. Oh, nice move to work around Steves, but couldn't finish. Those are the ones that come back to haunt you later on. Mehta, hard dribble. Pass for Butler, who cans it.
Butler had that great start to the game where she made back-to-back shots on consecutive possessions and now gets herself going again, and the Bears with a lead.
Butler now with 6 points. Bears on top by 1. Here's Beal curling around for Jolynn. 3-ball in. Maddie Jolynn now with 12 points. Tearing it up from the outside. She's hit 3 of 4 from downtown.
Providence has had so many turnovers in this second quarter. That was just the 4th shot they've attempted in the first 4:40 of this quarter.
First points of the quarter
right.
as well, and they've got off to a tough offensive start here in the second, yet they still hold a 2-point lead. Mehta now in the backcourt with O'Keefe. O'Keefe for Butler, and Butler feeling it. She's found that sweet spot about 10 feet or so from the rim on either side, and is just nailing it. She's got 8. Che. Inside now, Erica Meyer. Meyer, maybe too many moves that time, and Butler with the foul. Would have been tough for Meyer to convert from that angle, but Butler sliding over brings us to a timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. Knotted up here, championship game of the Ocean State Tip-Off. We'll be back with more right here on the Ivy League Digital Network. And welcome back to the Pizzatola Center here on the campus of Brown University. Bears and Friars locked up at 25 points apiece, but Erica Meyer of the Friars at the line shooting 2 in this championship game of the Ocean State Tip-Off. Meyer on the season, 6 of 7 from the line. Bricks that one. Meyer on the season averaging about 12 minutes a game for nearly 1.5 points. Second one is also off the mark, and the Bears able to capitalize with the rebound. They'll work it up the floor. Che goes down, Will to the rack, blocked by Meyer. Nice job by Meyer getting back defensively. Jolynn, Miller can't finish. Mehta the other way, Bears in transition. Will, long strides to the hoop, fouled by Botegi, and will have to earn it at the line.
And Botegi did a nice job for a long time of getting Will in the air, and Will hung, and she was just waiting in midair until finally Botegi had no other choice but to foul her. The way that Will went up, pulled the ball back, I mean, there was going to be, even if Botegi just cleared the area, it wasn't going to be an easy finish for Will. She was hoping to draw contact, and that's what she did.
Bears leading scorer cans the first of her 2 free throw attempts. Had previously missed 2 earlier in the game, now has 6 points. And averaging just about 16.5 per contest coming into today. Second one good as well. Will now at 7. And the Friars find themselves down by 2. Che. Looking for Jolynn, curling around. Jolynn, who's had the hot hand for the Friars. Botegi on the inside. Maybe got a little bit too far underneath the basket that time. Couldn't finish. Here's O'Keefe on the run. Pushed right off of Jolynn. Can't extend the arm like that and hope not to get called for the foul. We'll take another look.
Here she comes down. Yeah, and Jolynn was ready.
When you go like
yeah.
full arm extension like that, it's pretty easy to call.
On an NFL Sunday, she may have drawn some inspiration from some of the games going on around the league.
And another travel on the Friars. This is getting to be a major problem for Providence. Coach Crowley beside himself right now as his Friars have 11 first half turnovers with almost 4 minutes left here in the second quarter. Mehta, Will, and now O'Keefe. Butler flashing towards her. It's a tough pass to handle from O'Keefe. Che Went down to her knees to get to that ball, but she's tied up by Meta. However, possession arrow favors the Friars.
Che went down knee first to the hardwood. She's rubbing her knees right now. There's no doubt that when she went down, she skidded and gave up a little bit of herself to go get that basketball. So good recovery, good effort. From here, I'm not sure the discussion and the holdup. And here we go.
Yeah, that was strange, but either way, Che and the Friars now. Chance to tie or take the lead with a 3. Che trying to clear out Meyer and get some space on the far side. Bears getting after it defensively. Jolynn, strong take down the lane and another travel. Coach Crowley again looks a little befuddled on the sideline. That one again.
Yeah, that was more suspect than some of the others. Most of the travels, the turnovers have been pretty easy to see from afar. But with a dossier building against them, even when it's a 50-50 call, you figure if you're the officials, yeah, this is going to get called.
And it's interesting, Providence 12 turnovers, maybe 8 of them travels. It's been a problem so far today. Here's Butler from the wing, no good. Jolynn the rebound, and again, Providence a chance to tie or take the lead. Jolynn leaves it for Botegi. Che now gets around everyone. High floater off the glass and in. Strong take that time by Clara Che. Meta now back the other way. Trying to cross over. Che now gives it up. Riley, Steves, and Will on the other side. Will driving baseline, kick out for Steves. Back up top for Meta, and now Riley. Jolynn in her face, 3 ball, gets to go. Wow. Megan Riley, the very friendly rims here at the Pizzatola Center, have the Bears on top by 3. Che, and that time the push off as well. And you can see they're going to be consistent. Let's take a look at how many parts of the rim this touched, and somehow somebody must have been blowing from the other side of the arena because that one seemed to catch a little bit of a breeze on its way back in.
Yeah, rattled the front, the back rim, and as it sat on the back rim again, just enough English to curl it back home.
So the Bears on top right now, 30-27 after that made 3-pointer. Here's Steves. Little leave for Butler, who hits it. Butler pure again. She's into double figures. Keep in mind, Mary Butler's career high, just 12 points. Certainly on track to eclipse that today. Yesterday was Erica Steves with a career high 22. Butler on fire here in the first half. Meyer, a little spin move in the lane, no good. Last touch by the Friars. It'll be Brown ball. And Aaliyah Miller will check back in now for the Friars.
A 5-point lead. Coming into this quarter, it didn't seem like the Bears were about to, if you said you're about to start this quarter on an 18-5 burst, and not just start the quarter, but darn near finish the quarter on such a run.
90 seconds to go here. Bears trying to keep this momentum going. Megan Riley working against Jolynn. Down to 15 on the shot clock. Has Meta. Meta hoists up the 3. That one did not look good coming off her hand. And it was easily hauled in by the Friars. Oh, Nogic behind the back, off the glass, no good. Steves now the other way. Bears will race it up the floor. Riley set for 3. No, not this time. Botegi the rebound. 1 minute to go. Opening half of this championship game. Inside Miller. With Providence trailing 32-27. 47 seconds left, and Jolynn drawing the foul. Should be non-shooting.
Yep, 14th foul of this quarter, first for Riley overall. 17-second differential, so the Friars will not come close to bringing this down to the end of the half. Bears should have plenty of time for one last shot.
Che giving the thumbs down for the play call. Jolynn trying to curl around to get open on the perimeter, as does Nogic. Nogic dumping it inside for Botegi. Botegi is going to absorb an armbar from Steves. And that will be the 5th team foul on the Bears, putting Allegra Botegi at the line. Hasn't really been at the line too much. 3 of 4 on the season. The junior out of Italy, averaging 10 points a game. First one up and in, making it a 4-point contest. First point of the game for Botegi, who is 0 for 3 from the field. However, she makes it a 3-point game. About a second differential game clock and a shot clock here as second quarter comes to a close. Bears will hopefully hold for the last shot here. Bears had some trouble yesterday closing out every quarter of the game where they had a possession and a chance for the final shot. I believe they had turnovers in the first, second, and third quarters without getting a shot off. Here's Taylor Will. Puts up a tough one, and I don't know how she got it to go, but she did. Last second bid's not even going to get off the hands of Che. Into the stands it goes. Watch out, cameraman. As he almost caught a rebound in the noggin, but Taylor will take one more look. Had some contact with Nogic and got the circus shot to go. It gives the Bears a 5-point lead at the break for this championship game of the Ocean State tip-off. We'll be back with some statistical analysis, the first half highlights, and Adams' keys to the second half. That's all coming up next on the Ivy League Digital Network. Now, welcome back to the Pizzatola Center. It's a couple seconds away from the start of the second half. Mike Mancuso alongside Adam Giardino. Bears and Friars tangling here in the championship game of the Ocean State tip-off, and really a lot of positive things being said about having this tournament, and really nice to get the 4 Division I programs in the state of Rhode Island in a tournament that's true tournament fashion. No preset first and second games. You got the winners playing each other in the second game and the losers playing each other for a consolation and true championship. And the Bears lucky enough to host this first edition of this tournament. It'll be moving to the other campus sites of Providence, Rhode Island, and Bryant in the next coming years. But for the Bears, a good opportunity to take on their in-state rivals.
Right, and they did so last year, and it's tough to remember back a whole year ago. But 3-0 record. They did knock off all 3 in-state opponents for the first time in program history in a single season. So the Bears come in with a bit of a pedigree that they've been able to do this against their rivals in the last year. And, well, they knocked off an opponent yesterday. They beat URI, and now they've got a 5-point lead at the half as we get underway in the second half against Providence.
Meta leaving it now for Riley. The Bears working right to left across your screen. The home whites, Providence, again left to right, and the road blacks. Here's Butler, the rare 3, and that one maybe showing you why, a little bit off the mark that time. Actually, the first 3-pointer taken this season for Butler.
And yet, despite that, the way she shot in the first half, that seemed to be an in-rhythm shot, the way the offense was working a drive and a kick out, and I don't think you mind seeing that shot from her. It was a good look, just missed.
Providence looking for their first shot of the second half. Che on the outside, thought about it a couple seconds, put it up, no good. Definitely not in rhythm that time was Che, as she seemed to be fighting the urge to shoot it before finally putting it up, but on the other end, coming up with a clean steal away from Meta. Beal now setting up all offensively here for the Friars. Botegi, who hasn't been able to convert from the field today. Miller got Butler up, but can't get the and one, but Miller will head to the line where she's shooting 78% for the season. Not too many free throws taken by the Friars in the first half. They were 3 of 5. This is the first trip for Miller, who currently has 2 points on the day. Make it 3, as the lead goes down to 4 now for the Bears. Second one a little bit short. Butler the rebound. And now Riley. Quickly met by Beal and Miller. Steve's putting it on the floor for Meta. 3-pointer on the way and in and out. Botegi fighting with Miller, nearly threw it away after collecting the rebound. Nogic drops it in for Botegi, trying to get that baseline. And that time able to dump it in over Butler.
Strong move. As soon as she got the pass, she made a quick, hard move and was able to beat the defender and finish at the rim.
Meta keeping it low and in control. Able to send a little hook shot in. Meta now with 8 points on the day. And an offensive foul on Botegi. Actually, Meta now with 10 points. Scoreboard a little slow here at the pits today. Botegi can only laugh and kind of shrug that one off. as that is Botegi's second foul of the game. Megan Riley now. Inside, outside, leaves it for Butler. Meta, met by Che. That's that deadly crossover. Butler absorbing some contact, going low to the ground, tied up by Nogic, yes. And possession arrow favors Providence.
Well, Butler, as she went to the ground, she actually had an opportunity to call a timeout, and especially right in front of her own bench. I'm a little surprised that nobody for the Bears tried to help her out and do so. But after squirming about for a couple of seconds, finally it was a tie-up.
So Providence now, chance to cut into this 4-point deficit. Aaliyah Miller rotates it over for Beal. Beal, strong dribble over for Che. Che down the lane, feeds it to Miller. And a travel violation on Miller as they're going to say she took an extra step there on her move to the hoop. Didn't quite look that way from this angle.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
So the Bears will try to capitalize now on yet another Providence turnover. Taylor will. Over for Steves and now Riley. Meta trying to curl around. They dump it inside for Steves, who's trying to get going. Here's Butler. Foot on the line, no good. No gets the rebound, poked away by Meta. And they're going to say a foul on Meta. Now she came in a little bit aggressively. I don't know about that one, but it's going to be Meta's second of the game. I think it was the aggression that she came in on the rebound that made it look like a foul.
Yeah, she came
it
in
would have been Providence ball
hour.
either way, but yeah. So Friars have it tipped away by Will into the stands. And now Kathleen Ryan will come in to replace Butler. Coach Bain there to meet Butler with a high five, saying good job all the way. Just giving Butler a little bit of a rest here. Beal already down to 9 on the shot clock, lost the handle. Will leads to a break for the Bears. Will drops it back for Ryan. Now Riley and Providence, a nice job of getting back to halt the fast break. Meta. Inside it goes for Steves, and there it is. First bucket of the day for Erica Steves. Long time coming, but a nice finish.
Yeah, great finish, and she had gotten matched up against a severe size advantage for her, and without hesitation finished over the top.
Providence now will have it poked away by Riley. Botegi, though, able to track it down. Bears had 3 players going the other way. Botegi can't finish again, and Riley somehow able to keep it in with Steves underneath the hoop. Riley, kick out, Steves, 3-ball, yes! Erica Steves delivers from downtown, 5 straight for the sophomore, and the Bears have their largest lead of the game at 9. Che, outside, Nogic, pulling the string that time. Yo-Yo Nogic, hitting from downtown.
She can shoot it, and on a drive where you beat the defender, an easy kick out on the collapse, and Nogic was wide open.
Here's Ryan for 3, getting involved in the 3-point party. Kathleen Ryan puts the lead back at 9 for the Bears on her first points of the afternoon. Botegi now, leaving it for Che. Down the lane she goes, up and in. A little finger roll that time for Clara Che, sophomore out of Valencia, Spain. Taylor will now. Meta doing some nasty things with the ball that time to shake free. Steve's going to get called for the travel that time. Timeout on the floor with 4:35 left here in the third quarter. Bears on top, 44-37. We'll be back with more Brown women's basketball right here on the Ivy League Digital Network. And back here at the Pizzatola Center, the Bears enjoying a 7-point lead. They've led by as many as 9 here in the second half. And Adam, looking at some of the subcategories here for the Friars, they are struggling in a couple of departments.
Yeah, points off turnovers. We mentioned the +10 turnover advantage at halftime. And it's still +10 in favor of the Bears, but points off turnovers, 13-1 in favor of the Bears.
Yeah, something that has obviously led to this 7-point deficit. Friars, though, with Miller, and there it is. And that time you could see her lifting the leg. before she's putting the ball on the floor. I mean, and they have called that consistently on both ends of the floor. But
the up fake the shot, get the defender in the air, and you start moving before you ever actually take a dribble.
17 turnovers now for the Friars, 3 above their season average. Riley from the perimeter. Oh, halfway down, but Will somehow getting a rebound, but then turns it over, looking for Butler. Clara Che able to get in the passing lane. Che, the handoff for Jolynn. And we're going to have an armbar on the Bears. See who they get. It might have been O'Keefe. Indeed it is, her second. Erica Meyer back in now for Providence. Fresh 30 seconds for the Friars, who trail by 7. Che trying to get Botegi involved. Botegi takes Ryan, had it poked away by Meta, and they're going to say Providence ball.
Ooh. I thought I saw that roll down the leg of Botegi before rolling out of bounds. Meta certainly thought so as she dragged it off the leg.
Yeah, well, just based on physics on how the ball was redirected. Yeah, either way, still Providence ball, and Botegi able to convert on the inside that time on the quick inbound play. 5-point game, O'Keefe and Meta now leading the backcourt of the Bears. Here's Will. Got herself in big trouble, a wild pass, just threw it away. Botegi to the other end, and she's starting to feel it now for the Friars. 3-point contest.
Erica Steeves hops off the bench, gets ready to check in at the scorer's table.
Yeah, Will, that last trip down the floor, just got herself in trouble. Here's Will now, the take. Blocked by Meyer, but they're going to say she was fouled. Friar faithful don't like it. Hard to tell from our vantage point here. There's a couple bodies in between us and the play. We'll see. And
that is a tough call.
And
certainly seemed like she got all ball and maybe bumped her on the way down, but certainly got all ball up top on the block.
Yeah, certainly didn't seem to be a lot there on the initial shot. Either way, Tiller Will at the line. Drops it in. Puts the advantage back to 4 for the Bears. Steeves in. Ryan will check out. Taylor Will now, one of 3 Bears in double figures, along with Butler and Meta. Second shot up and in as well. Jolynn heaves it across center court for Nogic. And Nogic got herself caught, and that seemed to be a curious call. It's going to go against Will. Nogic nearly had a push off on the initial move and then lowered her shoulder into Will, but still finds herself at the line for the first time today. Nogic really the lone Friar keeping them in this one. 6 of 8 from the field, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc, and now 2 of 2 at the line for 16 points.
Right, because Jolynn's points came mostly in that first quarter and first half. She's been quiet. Jolynn has in the third quarter.
Will trying to force it up again. Leaves it a little short on the side of the rim. And now Providence a chance to tie with a 3. Nogic. A super high dribble. Oh, nifty little dribble behind the back. Botegi. A little volleyball pass over for Che. Strong move to the hoop. That one, though, well short. Easy rebound for Steeves. Here's Meta. 3 ball on the way. Short. Almost seemed to be fading on that shot. Didn't get enough on it. And the Friars again will have a chance to tie with the 3. 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Nogic and Will, who've had an interesting battle here in the third quarter, have it deflect off of Will out of bounds. It'll stay with Providence. Aaliyah Miller now checking back in for the Friars, replacing Botegi. 9 seconds on the shot clock for the Friars. Che trying to get it in. Nearly a 5-second call. Jolynn underneath the hoop. in big trouble. Down to 4 on the shot clock. Nogic, turn around, up, no good. Ball knocked around, and it's Butler who comes away with it. Butler leaving it for O'Keefe. Not in rhythm, but somehow able to hit. Foot on the line, it'll be a 2-point bucket for Abby O'Keefe, who now has 4 points on the game. Che pulls up the dribble, looks inside for Miller. Miller able to take it to the hole that time and deliver. O'Keefe right back down the other way to the corner now for Will. Will drops back for 3, gets it. Taylor Will. Where there's a will, there's a way. 14 points now, and the Bears up by 6.
She knocked down a 3 to start this ball game off, and she got one here in the third quarter. Again, not part of her game, but she's been not able to finish at the rim much in this third quarter, so why not stretch the defense, and she knocks it in.
Ball loose, but scooped up by Nogic, down to 10 on the shot clock. Will on her. They look inside to Miller. Miller, skip pass for Jolynn. 3-pointer on the way. That one rattles home for the Friars. Big time shot, much needed for Providence here. Makes it a 3-point game with about 30 seconds left in this third quarter. 4.5-second differential, game clock and shot clock here for the Bears. Trying to capitalize. Meta leaves it for Will now, 10 seconds on the shot clock. She'll back it all the way to center court now with 4 seconds. Butler forces a terrible 3. Shot clock violation. And
they call a shot clock violation. If they do, there should be 2 more seconds back on the clock. There'd have been about 5.5 seconds. So I think
it was at about 4.5-second differential. But what was interesting is the ball seemed to be rebounded before the shot clock violation went off.
Yep.
So now Beal races down the floor, pushes off a Meta, and they're going to get Meta for a foul with 0.3 seconds.
I mean, Miller just ran into her.
Or Beal, yeah.
Or Beal rather, just ran into her.
And we've seen that's her game. I mean, she's strong. She uses it to her advantage. And Meta backpedaling, and there's the push-off.
Yeah.
That's a terrible call.
Yeah.
Putting Beal at the line. One of the better free throw shooters for the Friars. First one up and off the side of the rim. Well, ball don't lie sometimes, Adam, and that one keeps it at a 3-point game here. But for the Bears, Meta now with 3 personal fouls. The only player on either team in any kind of foul trouble right now. Second shot is in for Beal. 2-point margin with 0.3 seconds. That'll do it for the third quarter, and even though it wouldn't have counted, O'Keefe nearly drains it from the length of the court. So time for us to step aside. We return, 4th and final quarter, championship game of the Ocean State tip-off right here on the Ivy League Digital. Well, here we go, 4th quarter about to start. Bears and Friars locked up in another tight one, 51-49 Brown through 30 minutes. Bears will start the quarter with possession, and it's been a tight affair throughout. And you know, when there's a title on the line, you get extra special performances. We've seen some good ones so far today, but who will deliver down the stretch for either team here? And Providence has struggled with their share of turnovers. They've curbed that problem a little bit here in the second half. And the Bears trying to strike first here in the 4th. Abby O'Keefe leaving it for Meta, and now Taylor Will. Will had to pull up the dribble. O'Keefe down through the lane, up no good. Miller the rebound. After what was very close to being a travel on O'Keefe. Miller, strong take, left it short though. Ball loose, and Will has it tied up.
And that is the second tough call going against Erica Meyer. She had a block shot that she was called for a foul on, and that ended up being a really quick rip-away steal, but in the half moment that the two were grappling for it, Will and Meyer, they blew the whistle for a jump off.
Well, I was also thinking it could have been a foul on Meyer, too. She came strong over the top, and that's even though she was able to jerk it away. Either way, possession arrow had favored the Friars. Meyer now on the inside, can't get it, and again, lucky she wasn't called for a foul. Going for the rebound, Jolynn. tried to body check Will on the sideline. And they're going to say last touch by the Bears. Again, a Friar getting in a position where a Bear can't land.
Right, and Taylor Will, not only that, but couldn't try and track down the basketball as it rolled up court. So that's what Sarah Bain was arguing on the sideline. These officials, this has been a tough second half. A lot of close calls that they've had to make, and they haven't been making very good friends with either head coach.
Che's shot won't go. Miller's second attempt won't either, and she'll have to get it done at the line now, where she is 1 of 2 for today. Around 75% or so for the season. But she will be shooting 2 on the Bears' first foul of the quarter. First one is good. O'Keefe back in for Will now. And now Miller a chance to tie the game at 51. Second one, no good. Butler the rebound, and here comes Meta. Meta leaves it back for Riley. Riley leaves it for O'Keefe. Butler ran through Jolynn. Steves now puts it on the floor. And we get an armbar on the Friars. Erica Meyer shakes her head, acknowledging that was the right call.
She's argued a couple, so when they make the right call, at least she's honest.
Oh, poor entry pass from Meta. Blocked and then secured by Che. And the Friars a chance to take the lead. Meyer in the corner, leaving it for Che. Miller has been in the paint for a good 4 or 5 seconds. Jolynn driving the lane, up and in. O'Keefe not paying attention for a second. Nearly has it deflect out of bounds. Coach Bain not messing around, is going to call timeout. Leads to a timeout on the floor as well, so we'll step aside. Welcome back to the Pizzatola Center. Mike Mancuso alongside Adam Giardino, as this is the championship game of the Ocean State tip-off. Bears and Friars locked up in a tight affair here at the pits. Riley and the Bears looking to retake the lead. Steves now leaving it for O'Keefe. The handoff for Riley, defended by Beal, and now here's Steves. Meta trying to get something going, leaves it for O'Keefe. Three-pointer is good. Abby O'Keefe, who's been feeling it at times here today. 3 of 7, and we've now had 7 lead changes in this game and 2 ties as well. Friars looking to bounce back with the 3 ball from Jolynn. Short, tipped away by Steves over the head of Miller, and here come the Bears in transition. Meta, three-pointer, yes! Shayna Meta hits from downtown. She's got 13 in the Bears with a quick 6 points out of the timeout. Beal trying to settle this Providence offense down. Has Jolynn. She'll go baseline underneath the hoop for Che now on the outside. Oh, strong answer. Che, the fist pump 3, as we saw so many times yesterday. It's another big shot. It's a 2-point game.
Yeah, with Jolynn and Nogic, those are the 2 that you mark on the outside. When somebody other than those 2 knocks one down, you tip your cap, and Che more than fired up to do so.
O'Keefe, same spot she just hit from before. She does it again. Abby O'Keefe with 10 points. That's a new career high for her, and puts the Bears back on top by 5. Both offensives in rhythm now here down the stretch. Beal look to have a push off again on Meta. They're going to get her for a block. I want to see that one again on replay. Is very similar to what we saw before, and that's the 4th on Meta. She's going and Coach Bain was doing the same thing, showing the armbar. Well, we're going to get a look at the last 3 from O'Keefe, but believe me, Beal had that right arm up into the midsection of Meta. Here's Nogic outside. Che, uncontested 3, no good. And O'Keefe the rebound. A lollipop pass across for Megan Riley. And now the Bears will go to work in the half-court set. Riley pops it in for Steves. Tough shot. In a very difficult spot on the floor for Steves. Won't go. Che leaving it for Beal. And again, not a lot of contact, but a call going against O'Keefe.
That's the 4th foul in this 4th quarter for the Bears. Foul the rest of the way will put the Providence College Friars at the line shooting 2.
It's tough because I don't know what they want the Bears to do defensively when Beal gets it. Here's Che using a screen from Meyer. Nogic has to give it up to Che, and now around for Beal. Meyer, Beal once again. Jump shot, no good, too strong. Meyer the rebound, takes it to the rack, no good. And Aaliyah Miller, the foul on the rebound, coming across the shoulder of Butler.
And we're going to take a look, and off of the miss, pretty easy with Butler having the inside position, foul going up over the top of her. Good call, easy call.
So, midway point now, 4th quarter. Bears with a 5-point lead, and Riley throws it away. A zig instead of a zag from Erica Steves. Brings us to a timeout on the floor. We will step aside as well with the Bears on top by 5. Down the stretch they come here at the Ocean State Tip-Off Championship game. We'll be back with more right here on the Ivy League Digital Network. 5-point game here at the Pizzatola Center. Bears and Friars with half of the 4th quarter to go. Providence with possession. Sarah Beal will lead the charge. Both teams shooting the ball well today. Providence at 44%. That's going to go down a tick after the miss from Nogic, but a finish that time from Miller. And the Friars are within 3.
Bears need to control the basketball over the final 5 minutes of regulation here. 6 of the last 7 turnovers in the game have been committed by the Bears. And what was once a +10, a +11 in that category is now +6.
Yeah, another turnover there. Steve's a little bit too much on the pass for Butler. And Coach Bain's going to make the tough decision to get Meta back in at the next chance. She has 4 personal fouls. No one else on either team with 3. Che leaves it into the corner for Nogic, wheels it around. Che thought about 3, now drives the lane. And able to dump it in for a quick 2. A 1-point contest. As the Bears trying to hang on here against their rivals from just a couple miles away. Will through the lane, up and in, and 1. Oh my. Strong take that time for Taylor Will, who now has 16 points and a chance to make it a 3-point play.
As she drove through the lane, there was a slight bump, and now Taylor Will is great at drawing contact, and we've seen that this year, and selling it as much as anything, but an off-balance, wild circus shot finished off the glass, and now opportunity for her to make this a 2-possession game.
Free throw from Will is perfect. Meta has checked back in now for the Bears. Keep an eye on her, especially on the defensive end with those 4 fouls. Obviously one of the keys to this Brown team. Here's Che. Tipped away by Will. 2-on-1 break. Meta can't convert. And we're going to have a foul. Is that on Meta? That's it. Wow. And just like that, Meta's day is done. Let's see, she was trying to avoid the contact. She did. It was a nice play, and yeesh. And Meta took a shot there from Nogic. And Coach Bain needs an explanation as to why. Meta certainly felt that she was the one that was fouled, or at least there should have been a no call in that situation, but some very tough fouls going against Shayna Meta here today. Again, no one else on the floor with even 3 fouls, and Meta's day is done.
Right, and I mean, obviously that's a huge blow to the offense, and now the defense needs to clamp down with a 4-point lead and 3 minutes left.
So who will step up here for the Bears down the stretch? Their most clutch player on the bench for the remainder. Che feeds it inside for Miller. Back outside, Che for three. Nope, too strong. And Steve's the rebound. O'Keefe leaves it now for Riley. And the Bears trying to use a little clock here as well on each possession, but still finding a quality shot. Will, hard dribble, now leaves it for Riley. Back for Will. Butler trying to body up against Botegi. Will now through the paint, some contact. Riley, O'Keefe is going to have to pull up for the jumper. No good. Oh, Taylor Will getting on the inside and drawing the foul on Nogic. Taylor Will getting the job done. That's only her second rebound of the game, but a huge one for the Bears.
Yeah, it comes at a big time, and she's 5 of 7 at the free throw line. She's the only Bear to have tried any free throws today.
That's kind of amazing. Will with now 18 points to lead all scorers in the game. And there it was, a strong rebound, a hit from behind by Nogic. Jolynn checks back in, replacing Clara Che. As Will unable to convert that one. So it's a 5-point game. With just over 2 minutes left. Beal working against Riley. Does a nice job moving her feet. Miller, a little bit of a push off. Instead, they're going to say a travel. And Miller, who's been guilty of quite a few travels today, that's going to be her 8th turnover of the contest. And probably a majority of those coming off of traveling violations. 2 minutes ago, O'Keefe and the Bears holding on to a 5-point lead, trying to hand Providence its first loss of the season. Steves drops it off for Will. Butler posting up on Botegi, gets it to go. 12 points for Mary Butler, ties her career high. Thumbs down play the call from Sarah Beal. Friars down by 7. Nogic, three-pointer, oh boy. Huge shot. Yo-Yo Nogic delivers from downtown again. She has 19. Timeout called. We're going to keep it here. And we will let you know that the Ivy League Digital Network can now be accessed on the ILDN app, on Apple TV and Roku. Thousands of league events over the course of the season are at your fingertips. It's all available on the ILDN app on Apple TV and Roku. So, Bears have seen some big swings of momentum here down the stretch. They hit a couple of big free throws. On the other end, Nogic, huge three-pointer to keep her team alive in this one.
And Providence hasn't backed down. They've picked their spots on the three-pointers. They're 8 of 15 on the game, over 50% from beyond the arc. And to the Bears' credit, they're 6 of 11 shooting threes in the second half. Abby O'Keefe has a couple of big ones. And she, the way she's been shooting it in the last couple of minutes, to see the ball in her hands at the end of this game wouldn't be such a surprise, despite the fact that, O'Keefe, not really your go-to scoring option coming into today.
So still a 2-possession game here for the Bears, who are without Shayna Mehta. She fouled out with about 3.5 minutes to go. Has become their #1 cheerleader. Will for three. Oh my. Didn't see that one coming, Adam.
Taylor Will, 3 3-pointers coming into the weekend, was just 3 of 16 from beyond the arc.
Whoa, Nogic. As these two teams trading threes down the stretch. 4-point game once again, under a minute to play. Coach Bain employing her team to settle down. Botegi comes out to foul. And that will put the Bears at the line shooting 2 the rest of the way. But oh my, Taylor Will first of all with the surprise 3 from beyond the arc. As Will on the day now, 3 of 4 after having converted just 3 of 17 on the season. Steves leaves it a little bit short on her first free throw attempt of the day. Steves struggling a bit here, getting going offensively.
She's struggling at the free throw line, 2 of 7 on the weekend.
He does convert that one, though, so a 5-point margin once again. 40 seconds left. Providence and the Bears locked in another classic. Beal takes it to the rack, converts, and timeout called by the Friars.
Well, the ease with which Beal got to the rim is because you've got 2 players shooting 3-pointers for Providence that just simply won't miss. Nogic refuses to miss. Joe Lynn refusing to miss. Those 2 players felt like they both deserved a double team beyond the arc, and so the seas parted for Beal to take it right down the lane and finish practically uncontested at the rim with 36 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, only 8 seconds went off the clock from the made free throw from Steves to the conversion on the layup by Sarah Beal. So Beal with just 3 points on the day, not one of her finest performances on an offensive end, but keeping her team right in this one, a 1-possession game. Bears without their most clutch player, and Shayna Mehta. She has fouled out. Providence will turn up the heat defensively here as the Bears try to add to this 3-point lead. O'Keefe quickly met by Beal, trying to shake free, and is forced to call timeout. The Bears did have 2 timeouts with which to work with. Smart play there to call timeout as O'Keefe was obviously in some big-time trouble.
Picked up the dribble on the far sideline and got pinched in with a double team. The only way she was going to get a pass off would have been to leave her feet and throw something wildly into the air. So before doing that, she calls the timeout, and it'll be a tough spot. Inbounding on a side out like this isn't ideal for the Bears, but they'll run some sort of, usually we see a stack type play in this situation on a sideline inbounds play. And if they get it in successfully, as we take one more look at Taylor Will, just a cold-blooded 3 responded.
And then anything you could do, I could do better. Nogic, as they trade 3s in each other's faces. Brings us to where we are now, 70-67 Brown. Bears, who trailed by 8 points after the first quarter, rebounded strong to take the lead at the break. It's been back and forth since. 2 ties, 7 lead changes as Steves drops it in for Butler to the hole and in. A new career high and a 5-point lead for the Bears. Providence quickly the other way. Beal once again is fouled from behind by Riley, and both of them went down awkwardly as Beal lost her shoe. And that'll put Sarah Beal at the line shooting 2. Well, here it is, first of all, Butler getting to 14 points, a new career best for her. She has been a spark for the Bears offensively. 9 points higher now than her season average. So Beal, who's had her troubles today from the field, just 3 points. Looking to get the Friars back to within 3 points. 2 cracks at the line. First one is out. Che returns to the floor. So here we take another look. Beal and Riley, how did she lose her shoe? It just, I don't know, did Riley step on it or
Riley
not?
Riley stepped on it. Her right leg flared out.
That one short as well, and O'Keefe, big rebound in front of Beal. Beal immediately has to foul, which will put the freshman at the line shooting 2. Hasn't shot too many from the season. She's 5 of 7. Now, these are 2 big ones for first year out of St. Louis. First one up and good. A wave of relief over some of the Bears on the bench. Now, the big one to make it a 3-possession game. And just 21.9 seconds left. Career high for O'Keefe, 12 points. Has the Bears up and looking in a pretty strong position here. Jolynn. And Jolynn looked like she walked. And they're going to get a foul on Will.
Yeah, it really looked like a travel.
I mean, let's take another look. They pushed it ahead. Jolynn. She walks right into Will. I mean,
Yeah, never took a dribble.
Yeah, that's a brutal call against the Bears. Second one from Jolin is no good. Bears come down with the rebound. Will's promptly fouled. And we'll head back to the line with the Bears up by 6.
So again, if Will just makes one of these, then it's back to a 3-possession game, and with under 16 seconds left, you feel pretty good. All told, still a 6-point lead with 15 and a half seconds left. You're still feeling pretty good, but 1 out of 2 from here for Will, and
could help seal the deal. First one is good. And the Bears now 10 of 14 from the line today, 71%. Slightly below their season average. Second one too strong. And Jolin take an uncontested 3. That one's going to be short. Riley the rebound. She's fouled by Botegi, and it looks like the Bears are going to emerge victorious here today and send Providence home with its first loss of the season. Coach Bain trying to control all the smiles there on the sideline.
That was an emphatic high five.
Yeah,
there were some high fives by the coaches there. Get the story on that when she comes over post-game.
And now Riley a chance to add to the 7-point lead of the Bears. On the day, Riley now with 6 points, averaging just about 4 per game. So we knew some Bears would need to step up today. We've seen Butler chip in with a career high. And Riley can make it a 9-point game. She does. 6.8. Bears would just be wise to just stay away from any Friars. Botegi, the meaningless 3. With 2.7 seconds, and that will do it. The Bears win the inaugural Ocean State Tip-Off Tournament. A true total team effort. Providence falls for the first time this season. They go to 7-1 on the year. The Bears, with their second 3-game winning streak of the season, they improve to 5-3 on stellar performances from Taylor Will, 22 points, 14 from Mary Butler, 13 from Meta, and 12 from Abby O'Keefe. So a couple of career highs for the Bears today. Abby O'Keefe and Mary Butler as the Bears take the trophy here in the inaugural Ocean State Tip-Off. Adam,